Hi, I'm Pam Cullen from 3 Mile Pond Girl Creates, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Augusta, Maine. And today I'd like to show you how I made this card using the Places in the Heart stamp set, which is in our annual catalog. And so some of the products that we're going to be using today, actually several of the products that we're going to be using today, are retiring because we have our new catalog coming out. And so starting today, the a lot of the items that are retiring are going to be up to 60% off. So it's a great time to stock up on all of those stamp sets, dies, colors that are going to be leaving. So pretty exciting times. And so as I mentioned, there is a new catalog coming out. And if you would like to have me send you one, if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and you would like a catalog, my contact information is located below this video in the details. So just reach out to me and I'd love to send you one when they become available. So let's take a look at this stamp set in the catalog. And the good news about this is that this one and also this other one in the moment that's up above it, both of those are carrying over into the new catalog, which is really great because I kind of overlooked these stamp sets for a little while in the catalog, and then now I have both of them, and I think that they're really great. And you can use your Stampin' Blends to color them, or like I did in this particular card, you can leave it. You can just leave it stamped in black, and it makes a pretty impressive. Um, there's a lot of detail to the card. So let me tell you about some of the things that are leaving. We're actually using we're using these Framed Floret dies for this border on our card, and this whole set, make sure I'm in the camera here, this whole set is retiring. So all of it is going to go away when the new catalog launches, and I love this stamp set. The florals are really nice, and all of these sentiments, the wishes for a beautiful birthday, for a special person on a special day. I did another, actually a fun fold card, and I used the celebrate, the celebrate, and this for a special person on that card. And so I love the sentiments in this card. Plus, today, as part of the 60% off and the retiring products, the dies, the Framed Floret dies, are going to be 60% off, which will make them $14.80. And currently, I checked this morning, and they're still available. The subtle 6x6 Designer Series paper that we're using as the border behind this is on the clearance rack for $4. Let me check. I think it's $4.60. Yes, $4.60 for that. So there's some deals if you wanted to put this card together. You can save some money, get these products, and stock up. And the Blushing Bride is one of the colors that is retiring because we're doing a color refresh. So we get our we get our 5 new in colors, as well as they're bringing back some that have been retired, and I'm really excited about that because Misty Moonlight and Pretty Peacock are coming back, and those are 2 of my all-time favorite colors. So I'm excited about that. There's some others coming back, and so some of the current colors that we have are leaving because of that. So, and Blushing Bride is one of them. So if there's any of the paper, ink refills, any of the Designer Series paper that has Blushing Bride in it, all of those will retire as well, and some of them may be on sale. So you can just head over to my website starting this afternoon, today, anytime today, and you can see what's on that retired list and what's on sale. So that's enough about that. Let's go ahead and get started making this card. So let me show you the pieces that we're going to be using. We have a 4 1/4 by 11 smoky slate card base scored at 4 1/4, and I've already adhered our piece of subtles, which is a 5 1/4 by 4 piece. And if you'll see on this card, I went a little bit smaller on that because I was going in a different direction with this, and then I kind of saw that remembered that framelit, and thought, oh, that would be really nice to frame this in. So Anyway, on this card, I wanted it to be a little bit bigger so you could see a little bit more of that paper on the edge here. So that's what we're going to do on this one, but we're basically not going to change this up much at all. So then we have a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 basic white for the inside sentiment for this card. We have two pieces of we have 2 pieces of the Blushing Bride, and these are 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And then we have our piece of Vellum, which is 4 1/2 by 3 1/2. And don't worry about that, any of that, because I will put all of the measurements for this card, all the products that we're using, on my blog, and also in the details of this video. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do for this card, because it's going to take a little bit of time, is we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp this on our vellum. And the reason we're going to do that first is because when we stamp on vellum, it's takes a while for it to dry. So we're going to stamp that and set it aside. When I did mine, I actually stamped it and then let it sit for about a half an hour so that I wouldn't smudge it when I was putting the rest of the card together. So we're just going to give that a pretty good press there to make sure that we get this there. See, look at the detail on that. Isn't that pretty? I just thought that was so nice, and I did find it. I did experiment with coloring, and because you can color on your vellum, what you have to do is flip it over, and you actually color on the reverse side of this. And I thought that looked nice, but I really, for this particular card, I really liked the detail of just the Memento black ink on there. And so I decided not to color it. But if you wanted to do that, it would certainly be your choice, and it would be very pretty to do that as well. So I'm going to set, I've actually stamped another one before that, and I'm going to go ahead, we're going to use that one instead of the one we just stamped, because I'm going to let that one dry. You can use your heat tool to dry it a little bit faster, but I'm always concerned that it's going, because the vellum's a little more delicate, I guess is the word, than our regular cardstock, that I was afraid that I might bend it or burn it a little bit. So I just opted to let it sit and air dry for a little while. So the next step that we're going to do is we're going to take one of our pieces of Petal Pink, and we're going to be using these two dies. Just shake out some of that stuff. My page was. So we're going to take this. Now this doesn't actually cut out your paper. It only cuts out that heart-shaped design. So that's why you would need to line this up and make this the size of the paper that you want, the layer that you want on your card. So we're going to put that down first, and then in order to get that center circle cut out, I'm going to put this piece, which is one of the other pieces in that die set, and we're going to put that down in the middle, and we're going to line it up side to side, and then run it through our cut and emboss machine. And this is what we're going to get out of that. So when we get done cutting that, we're going to have all of these pieces. So it's going to cut this, and see what I mean? It's like it didn't cut any of our paper. It just cut the size that we wanted. So we have that. And then you have these two extra pieces that come out, because this took our circle out. This actually gave us the edge around there. So these I can just use on another card for some other project. So I already did that because for time, and I didn't want to wobble the camera with the die cutting machine. So I did that already for us. So that's ready to go. So I'm just going to grab my silicone mat here because we're going to do a little bit of gluing of these pieces together, and the silicone mat is a great way to do that. So what I did first, and the reason that I did this was this with the second piece of the pink paper, is because when I put the vellum, and I'll show you this, when I put the vellum piece down on here, you could see the designer series paper coming through there, and it doesn't look bad, but I just felt like it really highlighted, the pink actually helped to highlight that image a little bit more and bring it out. So I decided to put a second piece actually behind that. So that was the purpose of the two pieces of paper. So let's see, that one's like, I think we're going to be okay. We're just going to be really, really careful with that. So what I'm going to do first is I want to glue this, this piece to our vellum piece, and then we'll glue it to that second piece of the Blushing Bride. So I don't want the glue to come through those heart shapes. So I'm only going to do the glue in these, carefully in these spots. And I believe that that's going to glue, I believe it's going to glue this down, because that's what I did on the last card and it stays pretty well. So I'm going to put this down here, and we're going to try to line this up, and I'm going to make sure my hearts are going in the right direction. Whoop. So then we're just going to put this piece together with that piece, and I'm being really careful not to touch that inside piece because I don't want it to, as you can see down here, I've got a little smudge, but once that's completely dry, I can use my ink eraser and take that right off of there, and it won't show. So there we go. See, we've got that. And now let me show you again. So see, I just felt like that, I mean, it doesn't look bad, but I just felt like it distracted from that a little bit. So that's why I decided to go ahead and put that other layer of the Blushing Bride on there. So now we're just going to carefully turn this over and put more glue. And again, I'm going to just do it on the sides here. And then we're going to put these two pieces together. That. It's not pretty. See, and I just feel like that's, and then, you know, you have the, and I like that better with the bigger border on there as well. I think that looks nice with more of the Subtles Designer Series paper around the edges than is showing on this one. So I like that better. So now I'm going to bring in some dimensionals. And I always have them right here until I need them. And then all right, so there they are. So I'm going to take some dimensionals, and I'm going to put them right on, I'm going to put quite a few on here. And again, I'm going to try not to set this down because we'll get this all done and then have a big smudge on it. So I'm going to put a couple in the middle, just to give that some more stability, especially if it's going to go in the mail. So I'll just take these backs off. It's easier to do this when it's sitting flat. Well, it's never really easy to do this because they don't like to come off, but it's easier if you can set it down and get a little more grip on it. One more. Come off there. There. All right, we did it. Still no smudges. Thank goodness we're almost done. Okay, so then I'm going to line this up. And I'm just going to press on the sides of that to get those middle dimensionals to sit down a little. And then the last thing we need to do for this card is do our inside sentiment. So let me bring the ink back in. I'm going to go ahead and just put that nice sentiment on the inside of our card. Try to get this centered a little bit. Just move it up so you can see. Those little hearts are falling all over the place. You could actually use those too, all those little hearts that come out of the die. Could be used in a project or shaker card or something like that. All right, so there's our inside sentiment. So we go ahead and flip this over carefully. This on the inside. And we are done with our card. So thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I appreciate it. And if you are watching this and you haven't already, if you would hit the subscribe button and like this video, I would really appreciate it. And if you have any questions or would like a catalog or want to comment on this card, I would love to hear from you. So please reach out and I'd love to hear from you. So thanks again for stopping by. Hope to see you soon. Take care.